Hey everyone, I am back at my desk so we can finally talk about update 1.8.1, which should go live on PC test servers within a few days of this video. So be on the lookout for that. I will update the pinned comment when it goes live. In the dev stream, the devs talked about some important topics about the future of Hunt, including recent performance issues, the ladder exploit, future monetization plans, and new content coming with this update, so let's just hop into that stuff. The first thing they talked about was the server issues and the degrading performance. If you noticed all the server downtime with this most recent event, you are not alone. It has been pretty rough. The devs said the reason for the recent decrease in performance was caused by a number of factors, including server issues and just a rushed 1.8 update, and they pledged that there would be more stability and quality in the updates going forward. That might mean we see 1.8.1 stay on the test server a little bit longer to make sure we find all the bugs that could be coming with it. The devs also mentioned the ladder bug exploit, which they hope to fix soon. The reason for the delay on that is the ladder movement system is one of the oldest bits of code, and so they have shifted to a new movement system, which should be the exact same ladder movement, but it will take some time to make sure this works properly. Apparently, the newer movement systems is what is causing this bug. And then they also mentioned that there are some server-side updates that they have deployed recently, which should increase server performance, especially for those EU players that kept getting disconnected. They have diagnosed a few issues, including ISP conflicts and malicious attacks, maybe like a DDoS or something. But they say they have addressed most of these problems, so it should be better for players that were facing those issues. That's all the performance stuff, but now we can talk about monetization. Well, a little bit. The devs said that the in-depth blog and video is still in the works, and I do not envy anyone who is working on that bit of content. But what they did mention about monetization is they want to shift Hunt Showdown away from being so dependent on game sales for income and change that to selling cosmetic DLC and the blood bond currency, which is fine to me. I totally understand new features and content require income, and so that money has to come from somewhere. I also understand you can only sell a person a game one time. Sure, people might purchase the game for their friends, but that's not a guaranteed payday. So I understand the shift toward premium currency and skin DLCs. But the devs also admitted that they've made some recent mistakes and are trying to be transparent and fair to players. Another thing they mentioned is in the most recent event, the devs overestimated how much people were excited for new weapons and variants and underestimated how much people cared about a legendary hunter being at the end of the event tier. So in future events, they will keep that in mind, and hopefully in most of them, there will be a legendary hunter as the final unlock. Another small thing is that Dennis will return to dev videos soon. He's been sick and on vacation. So that's it for the broad issues, but now we can talk about some of the more finite changes coming with update 1.8.1. The biggest of which is this new quest system, which will be replacing the daily and weekly challenges, which, to be honest, are pretty lame. So the devs want to release and improve this system, which means they will work on it in iterations rather than release and forget. But the ultimate goal is for players to have more choice in the quests they want to complete, and for those quests to feel more rewarding. So how this new quest system works is players can track 2 quests at a time or unlock a 3rd quest slot with blood bonds. They did not state what the price of that 3rd slot will be. The quests reward different in-game rewards and stars, which you use to unlock the weekly reward. The example they showed was a 25 blood bond weekly reward unlocked with 30 stars. The quests and rewards reset every Monday, so if you play weekly, you have new stuff to grind every week. Each quest rewards stars depending on difficulty, and you can redo quests to earn the same amount of stars, but you will not get the in-game reward more than once. So if you see a quest that rewards 6 stars, you can complete that 5 times to earn 30 stars to unlock the weekly reward, but you won't gain the in-game reward. If that doesn't make sense, let me know in the comments and I will try to explain that better. Another thing to note is that the objective tracking is shared among your team, so if you have to do something like kill a boss, it doesn't matter if you get the final hit, your team will track for that type of objective. Personally, I'm excited to see how this progresses, and I think most of the controversy will stem from some quests which I've seen that require the use of certain DLC skins. But of course, you can just track quests that don't require the use of those DLC skins, which I think is pretty fair. So that's it for that new quest system. Now we can talk about the 2 new AI variants that are coming to the game with this update, and those 2 variants are the Pistol Grunt and the Lantern Grunt. So the Pistol Grunt is holding a rusted pistol, and if it melees you, that rusted pistol will discharge a gunshot. There is a new Grunt AI that is the default Pistol Grunt, but normal AI grunts can also be holding a pistol. The guaranteed way to spot a Pistol Grunt is if you see one wearing this bandolier. So, important to keep in mind, there are different grunt variations that can be a Pistol Grunt, and the Pistol Grunts can hold different types of pistols, which will obviously make different types of gunshots.
See that we can kind of stave off this Pistol Grunt for a little bit with a few melees, but once he actually connects with...
It's also worth noting, if you are hit by a Pistol Grunt, no bullet is actually fired. The only damage you would incur is that from the melee, not actually the gunshot. And then there is also the Lantern Grunt. So Lantern Grunts will carry lanterns that can be either lit or unlit. Lit lanterns will start a fire and, light you on fire. And unlit lanterns will create a oil spot in the place of the impact. So you could try to use that tactically. If you kill a Lantern Grunt before it swings that melee, it will drop the lantern on the ground and you can use it like a standard pickup. Another small change that comes with this new system is that all grunts will now drop their weapons on the ground, and that includes like the Doctor AI or any grunts holding knives and tools. Currently, you can't pick those weapons up, but they did tease that that could be coming in the future, which I would love to pick up the Doctor's poisoned hacksaw. What this does affect though is any grunts carrying a torch will now drop that on the ground, and if it's close enough to a barrel or oil slick, it will ignite those things. So be very careful of any torch grunts with update 1.8.1. And then they talked about some other bug fixes that are coming. The third person bug is fixed, so now all weapons have the same crouch animation. There's no more disparity. That should all be resolved. Also coming in this update, the Romero ADS bug is fixed. I know people are saying if you're using the Romero, don't use iron sights. It would be nice if they worked properly, and so that should be fixed in this update. Some other small changes that I think are interesting: bullet casings now cause sound effects. So if you fire a bullet and then eject the casing hitting the ground will now make a sound effect, and here's a video of that in action. Another small change, brawler variants now deal as much damage as dusters, just for consistency. I think that's pretty cool. And Nitro Dum Dum ammo has been renamed to Shredder ammo, and that is just so players are aware that Nitro Shredder ammo can penetrate surfaces where Dum Dum ammo normally can't. And so that's it for the changes and content. But we can quickly talk about the legendary skins that are coming, and then I'll give my more broad opinions on what's coming. So, the new legendaries, there is the Label Aperture Wolfsbane skin. Here's a video of that playing in the background. There's also the Springfield Compact Deadeye. Gee, that would make a good creator skin, Crytek. It's fine. It's called the Blister, and you can see that on screen now. We also have 2 new Blood Bond legendary hunters coming with this update, including Luna Wolf and Dire Wolf. So if you wear a lot of wolf t-shirts, maybe pick these 2 up. There's also the Lonely Howl DLC, which includes skins for the Caldwell Pax Claw, the Hunting Bow, the Dusters, and this new Lonely Howl legendary hunter. And finally, after all of this legendary content, the devs teased that the team play / anti-camping mechanic is still coming, but it won't be in this update. They also teased that boss variations could be a thing, but a new boss is in early development. We talked about that in a previous dev stream. And one change I am very eager for is the 2D replay system, which is still planned, but that is a long-term goal. The 2D replay system is a 2D overlay of where all the teams traveled throughout the duration of a match. Kind of like the game Evolve, if you ever played that game. So, what do I think about all these changes coming to the game? One, let's talk about monetization. I've already stated I feel so sorry for whoever is working on that. It has to be right. And I see it all the time on the subreddit or during these dev streams. People are constantly talking about monetization. I think if they don't set the right tone with this blog post and video, it will leave a bad taste in people's mouth. But I just hope that the monetization transparency update is viewed widely as a step in the right direction rather than kind of the end of Hunt Showdown as we know it. That is not me being dramatic. People say things like that all the time. So I think the AI grunts are interesting, and I would love the ability to pick up the AI tools and use those and get kind of specialty kills with these different types of in-game objects. If you've noticed in these updates, Crytek makes changes in small increments. So I feel like there is more to it, and maybe this has something to do with the new boss that is being developed. The new legendary skins look cool, and I hope that in purchasing those legendary skins, we can see more stability coming for Hunt, including that server performance, which has been kind of iffy. Hopefully, we have a more stable game in the future, and event updates don't break the game as they have been doing. So that's it for me. That's everything in the update. If there's any significant changes in the patch notes, I will make a small follow-up video talking about what those are, but in my opinion, there hasn't been as much community chatter about this update. We'll just have to wait and see. So thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on everything we talked about in the video, and until the next one, goodbye.